Hitman Agent 47 is a movie based on a video game. More specifically, a movie based on a video game that came out before Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, meaning it was still knee-deep in the era where video game movies could only be bad and not much else. The only other commendable trait they could pretend to muster at the time was being fun to make fun of, something Hitman Agent 47 seems determined not to be. Regardless, I shall persevere. The story is about a young lady named Katya, who is looking for an old bloke for reasons she cannot explain, mainly because they don't exist. All the while, she is pursued by two assassins, the titular Agent 47 and a covert operative so bad at his job he unironically uses John Smith as his cover identity. They alternate between trying to kill her and trying to protect her as the plot calls for it, as Katya is the key to discovering the process needed to create enhanced agents like 47. A genetically crafted killer who is superior in every way. And don't worry if you forget any of this, because following the opening 2-minute exposition dump, John Smith proceeds to explain the exact same things half an hour later in the exact same order in roughly the same amount of time. However, in practice, it comes across less that 47 is good at killing and more that everyone else is too stupid to live. There is literally a scene where the villain's henchman walks straight into the path of a hydraulic press, then stand around and wait for 47 to turn it on so he can squish them into a fine red paste. What's sad is that this is the closest the movie comes to actual fan service, as killing targets through creative uses of your environment was something you could do in the Hitman games. But while that had a certain appeal, as it required careful setup and therefore a satisfying payoff, this is just you watching a man gratuitously murdering people, and if that's all you're after, you may as well just watch a playthrough of the game. At least then you'll get more convincing CGI. Hitman Agent 47 feels less like a movie and more like a series of contractually obligated scenes, with a barely there plot loosely tying them together. We have one scene that actually adapts the source material, one scene made to look like John Wick because that was popular at the time, one scene that's there to give footage for the trailer, one scene that's basically a glorified Audi commercial, and two scenes of Katya getting almost naked because they only gave a 15 rating to this movie based on an 18 rated game series. All of which is done without any form of passion or enthusiasm. 47 at least has the excuse that he was created not to feel emotion. However, I can only assume his actor got his notes mixed up with everyone else's, given the entire cast seems unwilling to express any kind of feeling other than complete and utter indifference. Katya at one point meets with her long-lost, dying father, and the entire exchange is about as heartfelt as my last transaction at the post office. The main villain spends the entire film locked in a box, only really coming out to the protagonists, having experienced no arc of any kind, can kill him just as easily as they did every other goon in the film, which ends on a cliffhanger that you know nobody had any intention of following up on ever. Even the mindless fight scenes, the one thing you would think the movie would be invested in given how frequent they are impossible to enjoy, as the schizophrenic editing and endless close-ups have rendered them near incomprehensible. In short, Agent 47 does stand out from the crowd of bad video game movies, in that it's less a question of how did you screw up this adaptation so badly, and more why did you adapt this in the first place. Because if all you want in your action film is an uncharismatic bald man dispassionately shooting people for an hour and a half, you're kinda spoiled for choice already. Jason Statham has made sure of that.